Welcome in to We Talk Facts with 9-year NBA veteran and Nebraska basketball Hall of Famer Eric Strickland and two-time Nebraska football national champion Lester Johnson. Talking and taking names in sports and day-to-day living. Sit back, relax, and join the show with 9-year NBA vet and Nebraska basketball Hall of Famer Eric Strickland and two-time Nebraska football national champion Lester Johnson.
Yes, sir. Once again, in the illustrious words of Ice Cube, who was in town last week, once again it's so. It is WTF. We Talk Facts. I know you thought it was something else, but it's We Talk Facts. We're here today every Tuesday, 8 to 9, right here on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter. Also on our little channel 951 is where you can find us. My guy, Harrison, is in the building. Sebo is in the building, and we have a special guest today, and his name is Cade.com Johnson. That's what we named him when he was coming up. Cade.com. He got his own tagline. You know what I'm saying? That's you good when you get a tagline. You know what I'm saying?
You got to be given a name.
You got to be given a name.
You can't make your own name. No.
Like when Shaq came up with the truth. Mm-hmm. Paul ain't been the same. His name been the truth. Ever since. Nope. Sebo, what's happening, man? It's another day.
Listen, man, I'm just over here riding shotgun, feeling good. You know,
like you my goose. I'm Maverick.
Absolutely. Whatever you need me to be, you know, I got your back. You know, I'm your man. 20 grand.
Yeah.
But, again, you know, a long week of good weekend of sports, and you know, just happy to be back on the show with you and sharing some of our WTF thoughts.
Yeah.
What's going on. But you know, I'm happy about today's show because you know, I think we named it.
It's a family affair.
So
it's a family affair. If I could sing, I'd sing it to you.
So yeah, it's, you know,
it's a family affair.
I feel like this is a family show. Yeah. And tonight we're gonna get an opportunity to just have some fun and just have like a normal conversation like we in a living room.
Well, this is how we do it. Whenever we get together and the kids are in town and Cade isn't beating
men.
up.
They men now.
Men now. Yeah, they men. They grown. Right. When they in town and Cade ain't dominating on little Kai Johnson, we good to go. Cade is the dominant figure in the household when it comes to winning in competition. I had to do it to him though in bowling. I had to give him that work when he was in town.
Oh, you may not want to bring up that situation. You know, we get around each other and everybody is such competitors.
My goodness.
And this is when you got to watch somebody when they get quiet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They get over in the corner. You know, usually everybody jumping up and getting crazy.
You ain't talking about Stricky.
And then there's somebody over there upset.
Mad to the mug. Boy, I hate to lose. I'm sitting over there heated. Like, God darn it. Hey, but I ain't no sucker. I'm gonna compete. I came back strong. I ain't no sucker.
And that's the kind of environment, you know.
Yeah, he's been around.
For sure. You've been around. I've been around.
For sure.
We show and prove, baby. We show and prove.
The good thing about it, man, is our guest, Cade, you know, coming out of Bellevue, Nebraska, Cade.com, Bellevue West, Thunderbird, finds himself going on. I'm disappointed because he got overlooked. Like, he should have been one of the premier. It was crazy because it was during a period. That period was a period where a lot of top tier talent, like they set the bar high for those that follow because a lot of them kind of got passed over a little bit. Like, I don't know if it was Nebraska thing, if they was just on some different stuff, but they had the talent to go to that level and compete at that level, but they just kind of got overlooked. But he ends up saying, you know what? I don't care what y'all talking about. I'm going to go up here to South Dakota State, becomes Missouri Valley Football Conference Newcomer of the Year, ends up having 67 receptions for 1,332 yards, which ends up being a single season record with 17 touchdown catches as well. On top of that, first team all conference and using All-American, wasn't he? As a receiver? I mean, as a a punt returner or kick returner.
Kick returner.
Yeah.
Freshman All-American.
Yeah.
As a freshman.
And
then the next year his role expanded and he went on to do bigger and better things. But before you get there, the cool thing about tonight is this is a story of a lot of kids in Nebraska, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of kids get an opportunity, obviously, to ascend to the pros, but there are a lot of kids out there who are underdogs. There's a lot of kids out there who feel like they are overlooked. There's a lot of kids out there who feel like, hey, you're not measuring the heart of the man.
Mm-hmm.
You're not measuring the heart of the athlete.
Mm-hmm.
And as he come on, he'll be able to tell what he went through and what he was feeling at the time. Because, we could tell the story, but when it's actually coming out of his mouth, some of those kids out there will be able to identify with what he's saying. But it's just a story of perseverance. He persevered, he listened, and he just wouldn't take no for an answer. And that's what you got to do. Now, there's no guarantee that you're going to go pro when that happens.
Yeah.
But you at least give yourself a chance to say, when you look back in your life, you say, I gave it all I had.
Yeah.
I gave it everything I had.
You're talking right, because the way that I look at it, one of the things is I always say that preparation prepares you for your purpose. And then when purpose comes knocking, it's up to you then to kick down the door and make a way that may not have been paved for the pathway that you was taking.
Can I get a first
Break
one?
it on.
Can I get the first one? Facts. I just need to say
you need it.
I just need to say facts. That's
facts.
all. Keep going.
And that's what it is. If you're not prepared for the moment, when the moment arrives, you'll end up throwing it in the trash. You know what I'm saying? And whatever is someone's trash becomes treasure. And so if you find yourself tossing the trash bag, be the treasure for somebody that they
listen,
want.
TD Strict Jake tonight.
Come on now. I'm on fire right now.
If there was a collection plate in here tonight, we would pass it around and give you an offering, because that was outstanding.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, no. On a serious note, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And again, there's lots of kids out there, women and men. I don't want to leave out the ladies out there that really feel like this is, to me, is a story of growth also, because sometimes you may not be the biggest, you may not be the strongest, but you just keep fighting. You just keep getting better. You keep getting better. And I always tell people, it's not about being the best 7th, 8th grader in the state.
Yeah.
It's about being the best senior, baby.
Yeah.
Because that's when it counts.
That's when it's how you finish.
It's how you finish.
Yeah.
And I think, one of the things when I look around the country and I hear, oh, he's the best 6th grader, he's the best 7th grader in the country, it kind of drives me crazy sometimes. And we've seen these stories on YouTube
regular
of some of these young kids, and a lot of these kids flame out, man.
Yeah.
They flame out because they didn't just continue to grow and get better and better. They wanted all this attention, and their parents wanted all that attention now.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you, everybody's story, everybody's path is different.
Facts.
And you got to carve your story. You got to carve your path, and you cannot look at somebody
worry about
else
what else somebody else
think
doing.
that's what you need to do, right?
Yeah.
And it's it's very hard to do, right?
Yeah.
It's very hard when you think you're a great player, you think you're really good, and you're looking at this other kid over here, maybe getting all these offers or getting all this attention.
And you can bust their ass.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But you have to hold steady and steadfast, and you got to have the right people talking in your ear saying, listen, just keep working.
Yeah. And before we bring in Cade, which we will do in the next 5 minutes or so, one of the things is this too. This is some growth stuff. This is life. This is in business. This is on, as you're beginning to climb whatever the ladder is for you, whatever that ladder is for you. This is just a nugget. This is just a gem. I call this, whenever I tweet, sometimes I call this a golden key alert. You know what I'm saying? I took it from the illustrious DJ Khaled. You know what I'm saying? So what this is like this too. When there are times when the way you envision it, the way you see it, it doesn't work in that way. So you could find yourself maybe like in his story, he'll tell you, but I'll tell you, let me just tell mine, since I'll let him tell his. You can find yourself in a similar way like this. You make it to your destination. I made it to the NBA. Undrafted, overlooked, pathway take. Then you get cut. You go to the CBA, which is the league down, not playing. Get traded. You're the backup. But I still had to persevere. I still didn't look at it as a demotion. I didn't look at it as I missed the mark. I looked at it as, how can I use this moment to work on the craft to become better? Because one thing I learned is that, and this is the nugget. You never know who's looking, but know that someone's always looking. You know what I'm saying? You never know who's looking, but just know
WTF.
There's somebody WTF.
It's a WTF
that somebody else is always looking. So sometimes you're not playing for the Seahawks. Sometimes you might be playing for the other teams. You know what I'm saying? So that's something to think about. That's in life. That's on your job. You don't know what the supervisor, what the owner, you don't know who and how they looking at you, but just know that somebody's looking.
Can I piggyback?
Get on.
Can I jump on your back?
Jump on it.
Can I add?
Add to
okay,
that.
Here we go. Listen, here's the thing, and I want to add to your story, and I know you're going to identify with this. Here's the tough thing about today. When things don't work out for you,
come on,
and it look like the door is closed,
Ooh.
That's when your will is really tested, right? That's when you really got to dig down deep and fight and try to go through every possible door to push through, because I think it would eventually be revealed to you when it's over.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I definitely knew.
Like it hit you at some point.
Yeah, I knew.
Just like it hit me at some point where it's like, listen, you gave it all you had. Like I said, you gave it all you had. But I know today, in today's time, especially with the social media and all of the media outlets we have, it's really hard to go from getting all this attention to sort of like falling off the map in regards to the attention. So basically, when you're going through the process, enjoy the process.
Learn from it.
Give it all you have.
Right? Leave it all out there. Don't leave nothing in the tank. You don't want to be coming back saying, I wish I would have.
Because if you ascend to the mountaintop, right?
Preach that.
When it's over, you just never know when it's over. Because sometimes I know, and you can probably attest to this. When you're making that money, you're getting that adulation. So I'm comparing the two, right? Money and adulation from people. At some point, it's over, right? And again, you want to look back and go, you know what? I did it the right way. I did it my way. I gave it all I had, and I'm good. It's hard. Listen, I'm telling you, it's very rare that a person walk away on their own terms. And they could say, you know what, I'm really happy with what I did. And you got to have the right people around you.
That's the key. That's why this is a family affair.
Yes,
because it's important. The community that you share and have is important.
And sometimes you got to tell people what they don't want to hear.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because you got everybody else telling you you're great. You got everybody else telling you the Don. You the man. Right. But sometimes you need to hear that real. Yeah, it's good to do that.
Encouragement is first, right? I feel like you need to encourage first, but then you also have to be able to give truth serum. You know what that is. I know what that is. And sometimes it can be tough. Yeah, it can be tough. But again, if you get that tough stuff, it makes you a better person. Because if any man or woman haven't gone through tough times, it's hard to build that character.
It's built in the fire. You know, if you take a sword, like you're right. If you take a sword, a sword isn't a sword until it's built by the fire.
Absolutely.
Until it's hammered.
Right.
And chiseled.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you're right. It's not just gonna show up and show, and you just show. I tell people this all the time, man. I said, listen, you don't just people always say, oh, you were blessed to do this, or you made it to that. I said, but you don't know the hours that were put in.
Right.
And it's the same. This ain't just a sports thing. This is life. You don't know the hours that were put in. And so we're gonna get out of here right now.
Hold on, Harrison, where are we?
Are we about to get out of here?
We got a little, like, maybe 1 minute before I start.
I just want to say this. I want to thank everybody.
Yes,
if you are tuned in right now, thank you for tuning in to the WTF podcast. Like, share, subscribe, send it to other people, because you're gonna get it real, raw, and uncut every week. This episode, what, 5 or 6?
I think this is 5.
Episode 5?
Yeah, we're up at 5.
All right. 5. And it's just going to get better, y'all. It's just going to get better.
It's only going to get better. We'll be right back. 93.7 The Ticket. We're going to bring in Cade Johnson.
Cade Johnson coming
in the building on WTF. We talk facts. We'll be right back.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't planned, now is the perfect time to maintenance yard. On the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have spots left. Trees and shrubs when needed, and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? The worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish. And don't sleep on their sides. Shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Biker with Professional Real Estate is your go-to buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Biker with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Problem gambling affects more than the gambler. It affects spouses, children, extended family members, and friends. If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 476-2300.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. Yeah, we would definitely recommend.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again, and with me on the line, Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know how proud you and everyone at the dealership are to earn the prestigious Honda President's Award year after year, 17 times. Tell our listeners what it means to you and your customers.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, all of us are extremely proud to have earned this award, and I want all of our customers to know it's not just earned by one person's efforts. It's the entire dealership. Sales, parts, and our amazing service department.
17 times. Wow. How does that compare to other Honda dealers?
This award is only for the most elite dealerships that demonstrate excellence. We really do strive to go above and beyond for the ultimate customer experience before and after the sale, Charlie.
That's why for 2022, Honda of Lincoln is once again Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts and service teams are ready to serve you this planting season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Talk fast. Ticket in the Here are your hosts, Strick and Clester.
Yeah. We're back on WTF. We Talk Facts. We're bringing in our guest today. Bellevue West extraordinaire, wide receiver. See, I always say this. What it feel like, Cade.com, to follow Uncle Stricky, you know what I'm saying? Who set the bar right for y'all to make sure y'all did y'all doggone thing, you know what I'm saying? Y'all don't even know. Stricky used to get busy out there on Bellevue West. We didn't play on Bellevue West field, but I just want you to know what it feel like following Uncle Strick doing his thing over there at Bellevue West.
Well, he actually played wide receiver, so it was a little easier watching his film than Dad just scrambling
all over the place.
2-minute plays. Like, we're watching the Benson film. I'm like, is this real football? Like,
it was like
he running back 30 yards before he even throw the ball. I'm like,
oh yeah, classic.
Let the hate begin, but you know what? I persevered and I made it through. No, but anyway, we thank you, Cade, for making time. You know, we know that you are a busy young man now, and you know it took some time out to come and hang out with us. As you listened to us in that first segment, we talked about how you're not only are you speaking to some of the young kids in Nebraska today who might feel like they're overlooked and might feel like they're not garnering the attention that they feel like they deserve. I want you to just kind of speak on that a little bit. Your come up from Little League up into high school. How did you feel? What was the pressure like for you in your head?
well, it was a lot of emotions growing up because CJ was such a great athlete. He got the name and everything, and he was the golden child. So I was always chasing CJ. So he was always bigger. My dad would threaten him all the time in Little League, like, if you don't run hard, I'm gonna put Cade in. Instantly, 3-4 touchdowns later, CJ's running up and down the field. So, but I was just, man, it was I didn't grow like ever. I was like $150 my senior year. Like,
yeah,
we tried to do everything. My dad would put these amino acid pills in our shakes, and it just
try to stretch out.
It wouldn't work. But I just knew, just from my competitive edge that I had growing up, that I was special and I could believe in myself. And basically I've carried that with me my whole life and just my upbringing. And I tell people this all the time. It's not just because my dad's sitting here, but my parents, like, they installed that in everything we did. I always tell people, like, my dad, like, whether it was school, sports, whatever, like, if we were out there just half-assing it, like, he was taking us out, or we were gonna get told. So it was just like, it was always like that for me. And my identity first was I thought I was a hooper. Like, I thought
That's what I was gonna ask you.
I thought I was a basketball player because I'm
gonna ask you about that.
my dad, I think it was after 7th grade, like, I wasn't growing at all.
But you could hoop though, Cade.
Yeah,
I mean, you could go a little bit.
Yeah. And so my dad was like, you know what, let's just take a break from football, because they were moving up to a bigger team, and they already had their players. So I was done. I was done playing football, and I was just focusing on basketball. And that was like my first love. Going into Bell West, I actually didn't play football at all.
Yeah.
So, and then it took my dad convincing me. He's like, you know what, this MG camp is coming up my sophomore year. Why don't you go out there? And at first I was in the running backs group.
Wow.
And it was like Calvin Strong and
right,
like Trey Sanders, these like elite running backs in high school. And I'm just like, there's no way. Like, there's just no way. And it was like at first it was a tough obstacle, but thank God for Michael Huffman.
So let me add on before I turn it over to you, Strick, so you can get in. Okay, because the thing about Strick, he's been here before the boys were born, so he's been able to see Cade, CJ, Keegan all grow up and become the men who they are today. But what I would add to what Cade was saying was, he was kind of always the kid that listen, I can do this too. I can do this too. I'm just as good. And as a parent, you always have to, you don't want to play favoritism, right? Because everybody has their own path.
Mm-hmm,
Everybody has their own growth spurts or whatever. But let's go back to that growth spurt thing. A lot of kids, I don't know if anybody could do this today, but Cade did not play football his 8th or 9th grade year.
That's amazing.
And a lot of people don't understand what I was looking at for Cade was he was like 99 pounds going into high school, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, he's probably about 120 his freshman year. And I'm just like, maybe he needs to take some of that time to rest his body, eat, and see if he gonna catch a growth spurt. And he ended up doing that his sophomore year. I felt like he got big enough where, okay, you know what? This kid got skills. He has skills. I don't think it's ever left him. All right, Cade, let's do it. Cade was like, I don't want to play football, Dad.
Really?
I want to play college basketball.
I remember coming home my first day at MG camp, and I was like, Dad, I'm not playing football. And he was like,
was there devastation from Pops, or what was the look like, or what was the conversation like?
No, because he just told me that he, like, in anything that we did, like, it was your choice. And we're not just gonna rule it out. Like, he was like, let the season come around. If you don't like it when it starts, then you can stop. But you're not gonna like just go out there for a day, because like everybody has good days and bad days.
Right.
And it was like,
so I made a deal with Cade. I said, Cade, play a year, right? I said, play your sophomore year. At the end of the year, if you absolutely hate it, then you can say you tried, you put everything into it, and we can be done with it. You can play football.
So tell us about that process, because when that moment hits where your heart's not in it, your mind's not in it, you're playing. What was the trigger point that says, you know what, this might be for me? Like, because it has to be that moment. What how did that go down?
I remember that moment.
It clicked.
You tell that moment.
So it was like the first day parents could come to practice. It was the Gatorade. Scrimmage.
Soap scrimmage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Dad came early because Cade was just. I was just on freshman in reserve because I was a sophomore. I wasn't even on JV. So it was us reserves going against the freshmen, and I wasn't even suiting up for the Gatorade scrimmage, the actual juniors and seniors, sophomores that are better. And I just remember I scored 4 touchdowns against the freshmen because Coach Huffman moved me to slot, and I was running reverses and I was running crossers. Next thing I know, the scrimmage is getting over, and Huffman's like, "You're suiting up for the white team."
Wow.
On the Gatorade scrimmage. And I just remember, thankfully for me, there was a couple receivers on varsity that started in the slot that they had bricks for hands. Let's just put it that way.
Wow. You shined.
He skipped something. Cade's first 2 games in sophomore year, he moved up to JV.
Yes. In which I had my future quarterback, Jaden Kowalski.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jaden.
They're all on JV.
All time.
The first game they played Bellevue East. So Bellevue East, Bellevue West.
At Bellevue East.
This was the night after the varsity game. The varsity game was Friday. The JV game is Saturday morning.
And I'm pretty sure the night before CJ had 3-4 touchdown performance.
Cade goes out on JV. I kid you not. He had like 300 yards receiving.
Oh, good gosh.
And like 6 touchdowns, right? And the whole varsity was up there because Coach Huffman,
come and watch.
Coach Huffman encouraged the varsity, and everybody was just had their mouths open up there because he was just
unstoppable,
right?
Working them over.
He did that 2 weeks in a row. Okay, he did that 2 weeks in a row, and then Coach Huffman was like,
"I can't fight him.
You're on. Varsity.
Come on, I can't fight you." Yeah, I mean, there comes a point where your work ethic, your preparation, your desire, your passion begins to shine through. And it's something about a coach. It's something about either somebody you're competing against that says, "Oh my gosh, yo, we can't fight him. He got to come on."
Yeah. And it was just a blessing for me because CJ and Malik were up there and we ran the Oregon offense. We ran the Oregon offense. So there was always 4 receivers on the field. Yeah. And it was just like, he plugged me in right away. My first JV game, I had like 2 critical catches in the 4th quarter against my best friend, Josh Manchagaya. He still hears about that quite a bit. And the rest is like history. And we ended up beating Omaha North that year. And I had like a one-handed touchdown catch. And I was like, my love just sprung
right there.
Right there. And I was like, okay, all like the little league growing up, like I remember like why I love this game. And I was like, this is like great sport.
Go ahead, Sri. Go ahead.
No, I was going to transition into college, but if you got something else,
I was going to say, all right, Cade. So sophomore year, junior year, you have a great junior year, and then your senior year, you just, have a tremendous junior year. So let's talk about a tough time, right? So going into your senior year, you're getting a little bit of hype.
Yeah.
The state of Nebraska is now recognizing you as one of the better receivers. You get a couple of offers.
Yeah.
You're but going into your senior year.
March. Like
and you decide, and your dad decide, you know what? He is about to tear this thing apart.
Yeah.
We're just gonna wait. We're not gonna commit to anywhere. We're just gonna wait, play the senior season out, and see
on yourself.
And see what happens.
Yeah.
So you take it from there. What was your thoughts?
That summer was.
When did you know you were good enough to play in college? When did you get that feeling?
Well, instantly, like after my junior season, when we started taking the visits, I was like, okay, like people are starting to realize that I'm actually good and can play. And you're leaving that summer was very tough because me and my dad. So my dad went on all these. He did this last summer with CJ. And they were just going everywhere and picking up every offer. Like he would go to Ohio, offer, Wyoming, offer. Me and my dad, we walked into Coach Bull, great coach, Wyoming. They showed nothing but love to CJ, and he had a great experience there. But we went up there right away, and it was like the first meeting. He brought me and my dad into the press conference, and he's like, "It's coming." And like those offers that we thought we were going to get, they just didn't come. So it was like going into my senior year, I'm like, all right, at this point, I'm over here. Like I look back at my Facebook messages. I probably messaged like 100 coaches, my huddle film. And it was like, it was sorry teams that like Missouri State, Indiana State. So now we can get onto that in college, but I'm like, every time I play them in college, 200,
I'm trying to bust
200,
right.
4 touchdowns, like
that part
every time. every time.
I had a similar moment where I came to the Omaha Racers, and I also went to this other camp where the coach at Arkansas now is Eric Musselman.
Yeah.
And Eric Musselman told my agent I couldn't play.
Yeah.
Boy, when I was in the CBA, I know what you're talking about because I was in the CBA.
Yeah.
I circled that game, and I talked to him dirt that game. I gave him like 30.
But
so I know what you're talking
back
about.
at it, like me and my dad, I remember we went to UNI, and my Uncle Keith, like they're standing on the table, like just offer him. And I'm like, okay, so every time I play you, like it's on site. Like that's it.
Site.
And it was just like that was added motivation to me. But like South Dakota State, it was like that was my destiny. Like for me to go there, it was just like the perfect situation. I was able to play with dudes that have futures like in the NFL, like they're household names, where it's like I went in there and I was like, all right, like they believe in me. I know I'm a walk-on, but at the end of the day, like I got myself here, and I know that if I'm just myself and I can play to my abilities, it'll all work out.
You're leaving out a critical piece, because this is a recruiting piece that I think every person should hear, right? So Cade gets offers. He gets an offer from South Dakota and South Dakota State. But what they don't tell you is they're offering 5 people for 2 spots, right? They're not telling you, hey, first come, first serve, right? So what happened to Cade, since he didn't get more offers after senior year, well, when he goes to commit, that's what they call it, non-committal offers. Well, both teams said, hey, Cade, we're full. Now, South Dakota, the reason why Cade said South Dakota State was his destiny, because at least that team said, Cade, listen, we want you. We really, really want you. We're going to cut a deal with you. You pay for your first few semesters, and then we got you. And they wrote a contract up, and he went on scholarship after his first couple of semesters, and he was on full scholarship.
That's dope.
They honored what they would say, what they said. But when I knew Cade was in the right spot, it's because the coaches, I had a couple of coaches call me and say, this dude is hungry. This dude is making our first team look bad. You know? And so anyway, we're kind of jumping ahead. So I want to ask you this, Cade. So now you're in college. Tell me about when did you know you can play in college? When did you know? How did you know? Okay, I got to buckle down. I'm free. I'm not under my parents' tutelage anymore. I'm in college. I'm here to ball. Okay, and get my education. I'm here to ball. Tell me about how you had to balance.
I want to add to that. Same question, but let's add on to it, because I want the experience, right? The experience is also, what's it like dealing with the first time? Like, it's different going to high school and going into meetings. Now you got to go into meetings where the details and the grading, and you've got to go to school. You're not at home, nobody to tell you. What's that like too for you in that experience where you're not on scholarship yet, but yet, answer that question, plus give us the experience of what that felt
so like you said, like when I first got there, it was like a big, obviously, because like everybody there is like an all-stater. Like everybody was the best players on their high school teams.
Some overlooked too.
Some overlooked. So that was like the unique thing about South Dakota State, is like now the guys that Nebraska's getting, like those guys were at South Dakota State. So it was like you had a room full of
because those Huskers wouldn't offer these players. Now they are.
So you had a room full of a bunch of those guys. So it was like when I first went there, I was like, I really wanted to just be where my feet were and just enjoy the moment. But at the same time, I knew that there was so much more for me to get. And I knew there's a lot of guys that they get scholarships. They come in like, oh, I had these offers and these offers. And I'm just like, we're all at the same place, whether you walked on here or you came here. So that was like a big thing for me, is like, I never want to be that guy that's like living off of my high school accolades and what I did. And like, it's cool to brag on your school, but it's like, you look like a chump when you're saying all this stuff, and then you go on the practice field and you're scared of the upperclassmen and stuff like that. So for me, it was like, I've always been the one to talk trash. So I never lost that identity. That redshirt year was huge for me, because I was on scout team just killing them fools. And then they go out there and they're playing so good on Saturday, and I'm just like, I can do this. And then it was just my redshirt year. I had a coach, and he was like, you can, like, I see it. And I was like, Coach, I'm going to go out there and do it. Like, I'm just going to do it. So then it was nice for me because I had guys there that, like, when I got in, it was like they had all the attention on them. So then it kind of like gave me opportunities to free up. And so
who are those two guys?
Dallas Goedert,
Philadelphia
Eagles.
with the Philadelphia
Jake
Eagles.
Wieneke, he was the rookie of the year in the CFL. He's had a great career so far. And then I ended up breaking the kickoff return record in my first year. And I brought back a couple kickoff returns, and it hadn't been done in however many years. And so from then on there, I was a preseason first team or second team all Missouri Valley. And then I ended up breaking the school record that next year. And I broke those guys' records. So it was just like from then on there, my confidence has just grown. And
what we looking
no,
at?
we got to take a quick break on this specific time, and then we'll come back. We'll continue to hear his story, the escalation, the growth of his story.
Yeah, we're gonna see him transition from college. When did he know in college he can go to that next level? That's where we're going next.
We'll be right back. 93.7 The Ticket. We are WTF. Peace.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we pride ourselves in making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has come to the attention of the Nebraska Lottery that when people hear a radio commercial in their car for one of our lotto games, Powerball, Mega Millions, or Lucky for Life, they tend to begin daydreaming about how they'll spend the prize money if they win, instead of paying attention to the road. So please, when I tell you that Nebraska Lottery Lotto games offer big money and big fun, keep your mind on driving. Do not start thinking about all the things you could if you win. Things like bright red sports cars, tropical vacations, 100-inch TV, hot tubs, SUVs, a new computer, motorboats.
Bob, snap out of it.
Oh, good heavens. Ladies and gentlemen, my apologies. Perhaps I should go home now.
You better let me drive.
Lotto games from the Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life and no premium costs of the associates with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here, summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort. We diagnose all makes and models, Hondas, Toyotas, and we fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Steve's Garage Doors and Services is hiring. They are looking for a garage door installation and service technician with a clean driving record. Experience is not required as they will train for the positions. However, mechanical aptitude is required. If you want to come be a part of a small business where you're family, not just an employee, call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today to apply at 402-480-2840. That's 402-480-2840. Steve's Garage Doors and Services.
This Easter, focus on your family instead of dishes with the Venue Easter to-go meals. Prepared fresh in-house by our chefs, These meals are ready to heat and eat, with packages for 2 to 3 people or 6 to 8, and your choice of juicy beef tenderloin, tasty chicken, or our famous 6-pepper crusted prime rib. All meal packages come with sides, and we have additional add-ons available to complete your feast. Order today at venuedelivered.com/Easter. That's venuedelivered.com/Easter.
Spring sports are here, and it's time to your equipment, but don't go rush into your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Back to We Talk Facts on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Strick and Clester.
Yes, sir. We're back as we get ready to close out WTF We Talk Facts with Cade Johnson from the Seattle Seahawks and Bellevue West's own Thunderbird in the building. It's a Thunderbird. I don't know, Harrison, you in trouble. I mean, it's a lot of T-Birds in the building. It's a lot of T-Birds in the building, but it's all good. People are chiming in, tapping in. They love it on you, Cade, for this interview, so we appreciate it. But listen, I want to get right into this subject here. The subject of COVID hits. You're playing football still at South Dakota State. You're doing your thing. You're balling. You come to a crossroad moment where you're trying to figure out, what is the next move for me? Do I return back to South Dakota State, get that extra year, or do I make a move to go to the next level? Because you had to go down and start training. My understanding, you got with a great agent. You went through the agent process of trying to figure out who the best ones for you, who's going to work for you. You go out and train with some of the best to do it. Next thing you know, what was the moment at that crossroads that you say, I'm good enough to be in the NFL?
Yeah, honestly, I think it was when I was leaving South Dakota State. My parents and coaches at South Dakota State, they advised me to get in the portal. And then coming into the transfer portal, I got exempted. So I was able to talk to other schools and I was going to be able to transfer right away. And I have this conversation with my dad all the time. I got in the transfer portal and had like 40, 50 offers from like the biggest schools.
Wow.
And it was something that I never imagined. And then my dad was like, let's just keep our options open. We talked to coaches, and then Jim Nagy got in contact with my school and my dad. He runs the Senior Bowl for college, which is a guarantee pretty much if you're at that bowl game that you're on the radar for NFL. And so from then, when I got that invitation, I knew right away that my abilities and what I've done and the work I had put in already, I just knew that I could carry that with me. And slots are very unique in the NFL. So it's like there's not a whole lot of them. And you got some bigger bodies, some smaller bodies. So I just knew that my style of play and the way that I run routes can really help that. So that was like my transition in an easier way to make that decision for us is when we got that offer. So
yeah, it was I remember that time because again, in Cade's mind, he knew he could do it, and it was kind of a redemption story because coming out of high school, he no love from no colleges, and then he goes into the portal and he's like, Dad, look who I don't want to call out all these schools, but he's just, I can just see him beaming with joy and love because he's like, I've been redeemed.
Right.
I've been confirmed that I'm good enough.
So that was easy to close the door on that then.
Yeah.
Because it was like, okay, I know like where I should be, and then this is where God put me. but then this is where we're going.
But then there was anticipation, because I'm gonna let you get to your dad's question. There's anticipation that people are talking.
Mm-hmm.
Your name is on people's mouths.
Yeah.
You get ready to go to the draft.
Mm-hmm.
That for some people can be a disappointment. I know how that feels personally.
Yeah.
That could be a disappointing
Mm-hmm.
moment.
Yeah.
How did you see your way clear through that with a quick question, with a quick answer?
Man, that whole you were there for that.
Yeah.
That was very tough. But I knew, just going into my third year now, I just knew, like when you have this gut feeling, you know, and you believe in yourself, I feel like nothing can stop you. Like I've met so many guys in the league that are undrafted and they've signed these contracts, and it's like the league is what you put into it.
Come on.
And it's like you got
Facts.
guys there that's a fact moment.
That's a fact.
You got guys in the league that, you know, they see that money right away and it's like, all right, I don't got to work no more. But like, that's just a stepping stone. And I just knew that all I needed was my foot in the door, just to even get my foot in the door. And like looking back at it now, like teams, the amount of teams that called us after the draft, like guys don't even get that. So like I was blessed. Like the bigger picture, looking back at it, I know on that day it was hard, but I just knew that, you know, you get this one shot in life. I'm just gonna put my foot in the door and I'm just gonna bust open that door and just
get him, class.
I'm gonna tell you what's tough is
get him
watching ESPN and seeing his name
up there on the board, right?
On day 3.
Yeah.
On day 3, the top name is still
didn't get pulled.
Okay, but that's all right. Things, you know what? Everything happens for a reason. It's one of those moments where, again, you got to have the right people around you, calm your spirit, and try to see clear. And that's what he did. He took that as motivation, and he's still hanging in there today, you know? So it's leading me to this question. All right, you transitioned from college. Now you're in the pros. Coming up on your third year. First year, he was a practice squad player. Last year, he was considered full-time because he got enough games to be considered a
roster
year.
player. Mm-hmm.
What do you see the big difference between college and the pros? What's the difference? And give me a moment where you were like, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can play here.
I mean, well, the big difference is you got D lineman and O lineman running 4.4s. I mean,
that part
you don't see that every day, but just like
they look like Rolls Royces.
Literally, it's crazy. But just like the players that you play against, and to see just the mindset is like that's the elite of the elite. Like every day when you go to work, it's like these are grown men like competing for a check every day, and it's like, what would you do for that check? So like every day it's just a battle, and it's the biggest battle is in the mind. And it's just it's a mindset every day is waking up like I got bread on the table. I need to go pick it up.
Ooh,
like
that's a fact.
But
I like it.
That's been like the biggest thing for me is like I had some growing pains in my rookie year, and it was cool to learn behind guys like Russell and Tyler, and then going back next year or this past
DK.
year. Yeah, DK. Oof. Going back this past year was like, you know, I'm just going to keep showing up every day. Like I'm going to keep showing up every day. And
that thing will preach right there. Just show up.
Just show up. And I did that. And the moment that I knew that I could do it was the Rams game. The last regular season game of the year. I was starting in the slot, and it was like I was out there and I just felt like myself, like
you belong.
Yeah. The first couple plays, like I was just like, man, like this is my dream. Yeah. Like I've been doing this. And then just to have my parents in the stands, like for my first NFL catches. And then later that night, the Detroit Lions beat the Packers and we ended up going to the playoffs. And then I started in the San Fran game again. And that was just
had some catches that game.
Man, I can't. Beautiful. Yeah. It's like, it's almost hard to put it into words, like what those moments mean. And just living in the moment, it was just amazing feeling. I was on cloud 9.
Real quick, one thing that's beautiful is people don't understand this part. When you were working your tail off on the practice squad, there was somebody that was throwing balls to you.
Yes.
They don't understand the importance of that.
They don't.
Break that down. There's somebody that was throwing. No. And what was that man's name?
Geno Smith.
Talk to me.
Every day. I mean, we had like, when I tell you, I came into a great situation. I'm out there like literally I just had to run my route and the ball is right there. And then transitioning, I'm like, everybody's so surprised. Like of course they didn't write him back. Like Gino is like, when I talk about mindset, I look at guys every day to study and talk to and build relationships with. And he is one of those guys where I'm like, I will follow you anywhere through anything. He is the type of competitor that I strive to be, and that I want to match his levels every day. And just the fiery aspect he has of practice and games and stuff it's just amazing.
This is when I knew Cade could play in the NFL, because he was back in college, right? I remember Cade calling me, and he'd be like, "Dad, listen, I can do this. Like, these dudes right here, I can do this, I can do that. I'm doing this, I'm doing that." Like, he had that excitement, right? And he had that competitive fire, he had that juice. And you know, we talk a lot.
And we ain't talking about Tupac juice.
We talk a lot, because I know as a competitor, you can have frustrations when things are not going quite the way you want them to. Like when you know you can do it, Strick, when you knew you were second team and you like, if they put me out there, I could, and I know Cade goes through the same thing, and it's a process. It's still a process for him right now. Don't get it twisted, y'all. He's still going through the process. He's still trying to ascend to that mountaintop. But if anybody I know who can do it, he can do it, because he's going to give everything he has, and he's going to make it very tough for them to say no. He's going to make it very tough for a team to be like, Cade, I'm sorry, you're not good enough. He's going to make it very tough.
That's good.
He's going to make it very tough on him.
As we close out, Cade, what's next for you? What is your expectation of what's coming up in this coming season to close us?
I mean, basically, just what I've been doing my whole life. I'm gonna go in there and I'm just gonna ball. Like my dad says, when the lights come on, that's when the players come out. And I'm just really excited to just get back in Seattle. I actually leave on Monday to start the season back up. So I'm just super grateful and blessed. And like, if I could give a message to the kids, like you can do it. Like I wasn't supposed to be in this position, but I knew that I believed in myself, and I had people around me that believed in me. And at the end of the day, I don't want to let people down. And I do it for the people that I love and that love me and have been with me through the tough times. When it was the hardest, that's what people don't realize is like, this has not been easy at all. There's been days where I just want to quit, but at the end of the day, it's like, I'd be doing myself a disgrace by doing that. And I just know that, God's going to lead the way, and I have my faith and trust in him. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to be denied.
And you got to love it,
Amen.
Listen, you got to love it. If you don't love what you do, it's going to show, right?
It's going to show. It's definitely going to reveal itself. It can't be hidden too long. So that's how it is. Thank you, Cade.
Hey, old heads, thank you for having me.
Yeah, OGs. We had Cade Johnson in the building today. What a great interview. Thank you for joining us, Cade. Good luck this season. Do the dang thing. We are WTF. It is another night. We out of here. 93.7 The Ticket at ticketfm.com. Sebo, Eastrick. We'll see y'all next week.